I'm Rob Kogan. I'm the curator at the U.S. Army Armor and Cavalry Collection at Fort Benning, Georgia. So I'm a tank curator, a Sofilein shepherd, tank shepherd, I mean. And I also get really good access, of course, to our wonderful archives that we have in our collection. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Army archives, one of the things that we have in the Armor collection are the archives that were used by Richard Pierce Hunnicutt when he wrote the famous series of books on American armor, Sherman, Firepower, Stuart, 10 books in total. In fact, can't see them because they're actually behind my chair on my bookshelves here. And so that's why I'm here tonight. I have a selection from the Firepower archives. A couple notes. Of course, the only reason why I have these home is because of the current environment. These were all signed out. Actually, bring the boxes they're in. They're signed out, recorded what I have. I'm not trying to hoard these for my own personal use or anything. Taking care of them, and then they will go back after they're digitized. Second thing is you'll notice, even though I'm not wearing any gloves, my hands have been freshly washed. Actually, when you work with paper goods in our industry, you actually aren't supposed to wear gloves because gloves can actually tear the paper fibers, and they actually make it harder to turn the page without ripping it. And then finally, any statements I make tonight while we're discussing these archives, personally, they're just my own statements. They don't represent the views of the U.S. Army, Department of Defense, the Center of Military History. That banter is all my own. And I just want to leave it at that. I don't know if I'm missing anything else, Sophie. Is there anything else I should add?
I think that's solid. It reflects what you've said in our previous introductions to your videos online. So without further ado, let us get into the...
Good stuff.
Okay, what you got?
What I have here is something special for you.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So a lot of people don't know. So Richard Hunnicutt, very famous for, of course, his American archives. But a lot of people don't know, and that's why I really admire Richard, is Richard was, here's a guy who's doing tons of research. And Richard's writings that he has in our archives, they even admit, all this stuff came from either the National Archives or from Army archives. He just did the dirty work of going around, getting finding it all, making copies, and consolidating it. That alone is amazing. But what was great about it is he wrote to guys like Walt Spielberger, even Hillary Louis Doyle he was writing to a little bit, and he was sharing what information he was finding with each other. That's what I love about that generation. Today, with modern social media, we have a tendency where people kind of, get a little, hate to say, egotistical. When I look back at that older generation, they were all about just learning and sharing what they had. And so one of the things Hunnicutt did is he shared what German archival stuff he could find in the United States with Walt Spielberg, with Thomas Jens, and actually helped them rebuild their archives up. Because a lot of that stuff had actually been destroyed or, of course, confiscated by Western allies. So here we have now this is a copy, this isn't original, of course, but Hunnicutt was able to get a hold of this for Walt Spielberger when he was working on short stuff. So this is what notes Hunnicutt was able to find on the mouse.
Cool.
Yes. So it's kind of really cool. I'm looking through Sherman, and Pershings and Firepower, and it's like pull this out, and it's like you can hear the bass drum playing, bum bum bum. So here are the mouse files that Richard Hunnicutt collected up. And mostly they're photographs. This is all the days before copy machines. So much of what you're seeing, Hunnicutt would actually stand over with a camera and take pictures of it all.
Wow.
And that's what you're seeing in a lot of respects. So, what do we got here? I love that. So simple, and yet says everything.
It mouse.
It's a little baby mousey. But beautiful drawings. I think that might actually have been an Uwe Feist. I might be wrong, though. Let me hear. Mouse is in the way. My computer mouse is in the way of the mouse book.
Delightful.
All right. Delightful. It was jealous. It's okay. So, all right. Here we can already see schematics of ammunition layouts, suspension. Little Panzertruppen for scale. All right. Here we can see the mouse suspension units. Basic concept, and I'm saying basic concept here, folks, because people these days like to take small little statements and generalize them to heck. Very similar as far as being a vertical volute spring system to the Sherman, but a little different. See here, it's actually kind of diagonally countering to each other, so that's kind of cool. to actually be able to see this view.
There's 4 road wheels there.
Yes.
That I can see, okay.
Yeah, and see how they're interweaved?
Yeah.
That's really cool. All right, here we go. In the beginning, there was a mouse, and it was tested. And some of these you've probably seen, because like I said, Walt Spielberger and Hillary and everything, these are a lot of the photos that they use to build up their archives, because it's all about sharing knowledge. Because if you don't share it, it's lost. This field is no one man's game. Look at that ladder.
That's so cool.
Cost extra, sorry. Wow. I don't know if it's high centered. I don't see how you could hide center that thing though.
Whoa.
So if I remember correctly, and again, it's the perils of doing live talks here with no preparation. I think this is the one that's in Koblinka, because if I remember correctly, they used that one as the base, taking the turret from the other one, to build the complete one for Koblinka.
Would that have been the first hole that they're using in the testing with the block?
Yes.
Gotcha.
I believe so.
Wow.
I mean, look how much space is up there on that front deck.
It's nice as well to see the details on the block as well, instead of the turret that they're using for testing. I didn't ever see the
it is
the
interesting,
openings on the back of that. I've never seen. Not that I'm the end-all be-all like mouse inspector, but it's cool to see new details.
Mouse rides. Whoop. Gotta be careful here.
Wow. A lovely view there.
Yes. I'll see, mouse rides are fun, but I'm going to see at what point we start getting to the other stuff. And I don't know if this file, when the last time this file saw the light of day. So if you're watching, congratulations, because we're going through this, and I don't think this file has ever been publicly shown off.
I am so fortunate it's actually hard to feel. Like, it's fortunate. This is a really cool opportunity, and we're gonna do our due thanks at the end of our stream. But I'm very thankful for this, sir.
Huh. Just trying to see what's going.
Look at that pattern going on.
Yeah.
And what's happening? Is that netting or some kind of cloth?
It
looks like
netting. No, what it actually looks like is they sunk it at one point, and they're trying to get the mud off of it.
Oh, huh.
Again, sadly, there's no caption of these photos. I don't know what archives they got it out, but that's...
Cool.
Yep, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get frozen mud off of it.
There, you can see it there. Oh my goodness, yeah.
I feel like the guy on top's reminding them two coats of wax. 2 coats of wax.
It's like 8 people working and 1 dude just watching. That's like that would be one hell of a tank to bring to the wash rack there. Wow, look at that.
So right now what we're looking at, it looks like a mock-up of the turret. I believe the detail they're focusing on. So this guard here you see mounted. You have the 128 millimeter main gun, and then you have the coax, which was also a cannon. Somebody in the chat, tell me what the coax caliber was, because it was an actual cannon.
Was it not a 75?
75?
Was it 75?
Or 50? Anyway, yeah, 75. Thank you. There we go. Thank you, everyone. So what this guard you see here was designed to do was, as the tank turned, that was to keep the radio antenna that was mounted on the vehicle hull, to keep it from, if the guns go over it, it bends the antenna down. That's to prevent then the antenna from snapping up in between the two of them or in front of the gun. And then you lose your antenna.
Right.
So you actually see that on a lot of Panzer 3s and 4s. You see that they have like a little angle iron on the front. That's the whole point. That's to push the antenna down as the gun goes over. Lots of pictures of that. Whoever this was really liked that feature. Whoa, here we go. This is how mouse are made. Mices.
Wow. Look at that turret ring.
And again, if you're someone who has looked at a lot of mouse pictures, it's very likely you've seen this because this was shared by several authors. But it's just always cool to see how those authors were consolidating their information. In many ways, we're seeing it through the
resolution must be amazing.
Oh yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is I'm looking at this the same way, Walt Spielberger or Thomas Yentz did, when they were researching. Wow. Here we have the inside of the turret. So that's looking from the back towards the front where the gun... No, opposite way. So we're looking through where the gun would go. And now we have complete mouse. Looks like, well, that doesn't look like mousetrack over there. What are they hiding? That's a reference to, is that Red October? I don't know. I can't remember now.
Someone in the chat says it was a ladder. Does it look so?
The what?
The what that track is not track, it's a ladder, is what Slowpoke says.
Oh, I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about this over here. Because that's not a mouse track.
Yeah, it's not a rolled up ladder, is it?
Yep.
That's a track, is it?
Yep, yeah. And then you have this really tall ladder, which is that, this is where I make the joke that this is the ladder going up to the back.
I misunderstood the chat. He said that's a long ladder, remarking at the length of said ladder. It is a tremendously long ladder. Good. Good God. It makes me really nervous. I don't like ladders, man.
No, that is awful looking. Yeah. And of course you've probably seen this picture before. This has been, yep.
That's a widespread one.
Wow. So here they're showing how you would work on the track system.
That sounds like sort of a nightmare.
Track jack over here, jack over there. Oh, good grief. Okay, so this is the nightmare, folks. Yeah, I guess that was mousetrack we saw over there in the other picture. Yeah, it just looked different with the shadowing, but yeah, I guess so. It is the same.
It just looked narrower, but again, perspective.
Perspective, yeah, it's hard to see.
Yeah, wow, look at that. Oh.
I was gonna say, I realize that the glare may be making it a little difficult to see all that.
That's okay, actually. It's all right on my end to see there's the track links. There's track links there, in the middle on the ground.
And another jack. Well, or a closer picture of the jack. So if you ever want to know why large tanks like the mouse don't work, this is it. It'd be great as if they had some poor soul, standing beside it to kind of give a little bit. Oh, good grief. Again, trying to prop the tank up. Oh, here we go. What poor guy volunteers to be the guy underneath the mouse for this photo?
Look at that whole dude underneath that whole tank.
Trick question.
Look at the width on that track. Oh my God.
So if you can't see, poor guy here, he's sitting here on a wood block on top of the track and he's working here. Yeah, exactly. Hey, new guy.
Yeah, is that
Junior.
jack? Is the jack tilted?
It is, because there's actually a part of the hull where it connects, like it has like a little part.
Okay.
I think it connects.
So is it designed to be at that angle then? It's not.
Yes, I believe
okay.
so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Here you go. Here's a better.
Yeah. There we go. Okay.
And again, there's a guy. 180 ton some vehicle.
Yeah, you draw the short straw for that one, fam.
Poor guy. It's at that point a giant sinkhole opens up underneath the the jack.
Oh my God.
That's why you can't have a mouse in Georgia. Oh, here we go. Pretty pictures.
There we go. Wow.
Yes. So this is actually one of the things I plan on trying to do for you for Christmas and never got around to it, was actually getting this blown up. Like poster size. Like massive poster size.
Beach towel, perhaps?
That's
My new
That would
merch
be-
site has a beach towel option, and I'm waiting for the right tank to put on a towel or a blanket. Like I need like a tank duvet. But you've got a good submission with that one.
Okay, so does anyone here speak German? On
Probably.
the chat.
I always have Germans in my chat.
I would say we should have at least someone who speaks good. Because I took German in high school and a little bit in college. I would tell you, it's not as good as it used to be. Because the reason why I say is, we have here German. So this is from 1st July 1944. So this appears to be on the production of the turret. Process for producing the turret, I believe.
Cool. Yeah, they should be able to read that. They should be able to read that really well with stream quality.
Oops, yeah, it looks like it's streaming well.
It should be all right. That's cool. That should be legible. This is cool. Nice.
Yep, operation instructions. Okay. So unfortunately for me now, I have books with me, allow me to translate, and I can pick up words here and there enough usually to what's the word, get my way through reading something like this. But for tonight, obviously I don't want to spend a lot of time sitting here going, well, it's a D-der das.
Okay, so the German speakers in the chat are saying it's device instruction or device description and turret operation, essentially.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Wow. So in other words, this is the equivalent of what we were seeing on the T-29 and T-30. These are what we would call notes on material technical notes. So, wow. So yeah, here we have on guns and armament. Wow. So with this, we could operate a mouse. Hopefully.
Yeah, it sort of describes, well, at least for the turret, and how the turret, and it talks, there was a chapter there about the different ammunition for both of the guns and stuff like that, so maybe it could speak on operation of the gun and operation of things in the turret. That would be cool.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out.
Well, my hope is to eventually get something like this digitized, and because the way we work, get it open to the people. Archives, we don't charge people for using our stuff. What we're limited on is that we only have a staff of 2, so unfortunately we're more limited by our manpower than anything. But if something like this could be digitized and then put online, I would love that.
Bring the history to the people.
Yes, agreed. So how long have we been doing this for?
It has been 1 hour and 51 minutes, so that would be probably about 1 hour 40 of the show.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
We could do a whole mouse stream. But,
yeah, at some point I'd like to get this digitized, or get some
that would be incredible. What's this?
Gosh.
Well, a centerfold. Okay, let's
Yeah, there is a centerfold. There's actually a lot of centerfolds in this. Oh my.
Ah, look at that.
So this is the turret again, but now as a 24-inch centerfold.
Look at that. That's beautiful.
Yeah. I can't even get it all in the camera.
Wow, look at that, guys.
But there's more. Okay, so here's inside the turret. Oh, gotta be very careful here. So it looks like the gunner station and controls. Yep. Oh, sorry, I realize I'm off cam a little bit. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is showing, looks like, I'm guessing turret lock. And then you can see where some of the ammunition would be stored on the side of the turret. I know there's better views of that in here. Okay, so here you go. So there's your 128 millimeter or 12.8 centimeter, as they usually say. So there's the stowage for those. You have one machine gun for coax work. MG34, pretty standard. Okay, here you go over. So that's really cool. Whereas most tanks usually have a machine gun coaxial, you actually have the equivalent of the Panther's gun, or no, would that be in?
It's a little bit more like Panzer IV is a 75.
Yeah,
I
yeah. I was gonna say yeah. So yeah, so there you have a 75 millimeter, and then there's where your 75 millimeter ammunition is. I love everyone that keeps coming on thinking that these are your arms. Do not worry, folks. Do not worry. So that's looking up at the top of the turret. So you can see the lighting on the turret and the fans. Oh, another centerfold. Here we go.
My blood runs cold.
Okay, so there's more suspensions. No. Okay, so these are the skate assemblies that go around the turret that allow it to traverse. So these are what would turn on the turret ring.
Wow.
And if you are just joining us, like I see some people who are going, oh my gosh, we're looking at schematics. Copies are made by Richard Hunnicutt, the author. These are mouse schematics. And if we take these schematics and we combine them with frog DNA, we'll have a mouse. But then it will turn on us and kill us all.
So this is all in this volume. This is the section that goes about explaining the different drawings and the workings of the turret. Do you have any of these for suspension, anything in the hull or the engine or anything like that?
Possibly. I have not gone through all of Honey. So case in point, I think I found at least 90 some of these notebooks that Hunnicutt has on German material alone. And I haven't gone through all of them.
Can I? You haven't taken visitors anytime soon?
What? What?
Casey, you that's so cool. Wow.
Some more of the mounting. You don't want to get your Druckfitter and your Waffenlager mixed up. That was a bad time. Bad time.
Amazing. And that is something, so we have somebody in the chat, if Rosh is still here, he is here. So, yeah, so Rosh has been to Kubinka, and he has actually been inside the mouse, and it's pretty, how you say, not intact anymore. And I would be interested, I wish there were photos of how it is now compared to these.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would be very interested.
Okay, so this is a schematic of the Periscope systems.
Wow.
As you can see, it was made so you could traverse it to look up and down and left and right. Slowly, it's funny, if I spend a lot of time on German stuff, my German starts coming back very quickly. And then when I switch over to American stuff, if I do that for several weeks, then suddenly my German leaves me a while. It takes a while for me to gain it all back.
Something I noticed, I was visiting a museum in Munich, and it was, it's like, I forget what it was called, but it was like a technical museum, and they had a lot of stuff on steam engines and things like that, as well as,
yes.
They had like 70s oil field stuff, which I thought was fantastic to see in the German. But when you were studying like technical details like this, the name is oftentimes descriptive of what it does, so it's actually... if obviously if your German is good, I feel like it's simpler to read technical things in German because the name of them is actually sometimes descriptive of what it does, whereas we have like new words in English. I don't know. It was really interesting, the difference between the languages on technical materials, but I digress.
So here we have the schematic for azimuth indicator, like we were talking about on the American tanks. As the turret turns, this allows the gunner to see relative to the hull where he is using the clock position.
Using a clock position. That's interesting.
Yes, and that's actually universal. We still do a lot. Well, because especially if I can tell you, having gunned on a tank, you can get disoriented very easily when all you see of the world is 10 magnified, through a scope. So it's often easier for someone to say they're at 10 o'clock, they're at 12 o'clock, especially because conveniently the turret turns like a clock. It's usually much more convenient. Now, usually when you're a tank commander talking to another tank commander, you'll use north, south, west, east, because usually you have better situational awareness, and the fact that your tanks are going to be positioned possibly in different directions.
I would assume, like, my assumption would be that it would be shown in degrees, but I mean, a clock is so much. That's like a lot more accessible.
I've seen degrees. The problem with degrees is often because of, you're saying 3 different numbers, 270.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just easier to say 10 o'clock because your mind, it's just quicker sometimes, much like you see a fighter pilot. It's quicker just to say 9 o'clock, that means boom, it's over the left side.
Right.
Now, and I know on our vehicles, we actually do have indicators of degrees on the turret ring, so you can do that sort of fine adjustment, especially for defensive planning. You can say, hey, turn the turret this, and then you can even go down to mils, which is even more accurate way of doing it. But it's been so long since I've had to do any of that. That all seems like another life. Okay, so here you go. You have the defense weapon system schematic. So pistol port using MP40. As you can see, you would lock your MP40 in there, and then it becomes a little turret.
Wow.
Yep, like he just said, the clock would be based on the position of the hull, so the front of the hull is always 12 o'clock, direction of travel. It just makes it easy because even as a gunner, you can look down quick, see where the gun is in relation to the hull, especially even if you don't have a working indicator. So this is essentially what you might call a bomb launcher, grenade launcher, but mostly used for like smoke grenades or flares. We even had those in Sherman tanks. So that's pretty common. Looks like different types of hatches. Oh, here you go, ammunition racks.
Wow. So that's the one on the left. Is that in the rear of the turret or on the side? That looks like
I believe it's the same rack we're looking at from different directions.
Yeah, is that where is that placed? I've lost track. Is it in the side of the turret based on the angle there?
It would be, I think, towards the back.
Okay.
But what's interesting, of course, you can see there's the 12.8 centimeter and then the 7.5 centimeter rounds.
There we go.
So you got a lot of killing power on that tank. Some more minor components.
That is so cool. And wiring. Back to our
wiring. There we go, more wiring diagrams.
Wow.
Give me an electrician. I wonder how many yards of wiring. I wonder how many miles of wiring have been used in that.
And circuits diagrams. Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Electric boxes.
How cool.
Stay with me, book. Stay with me. I think that's... Yeah, more circuit boxes. So, yeah, that's just a quick look through those archives.
Wow.
Literally, I just wanted this to kind of be, like you're seeing it through my eyes, just digging through archives that I've never really gotten a chance to look through before. So I hope you weren't expecting me to wax poetic on technical details or anything, because literally in most cases, that was the first time I've seen some of those drawings before. I've browsed through them before, mainly just as I was cataloging, figuring out what they all had in them. But many cases tonight was the first time I really got to kind of sit, take a breather, and actually look at them. So I'm glad everyone could do that with me. I hope you enjoyed it. It might seem maybe a little mundane, but that's kind of the job of working in archives. But hopefully this kind of gives you appreciation of the kind of stuff I get to look at with our archives and how we can kind of use them to hopefully help us learn more in the future. So I hope some of you all got a little bit. And like I said, I hope in the future I'm able to digitize a good chunk of this and that it's made available to the public. So.
Yeah, that was incredible. I think I speak for everybody in the chat and as well everybody watching the future video. That was probably the farthest from mundane that we could get on a Tank Talk.
This was a normal work day for me, so.
Yeah, so